This video is for anybody who is dealing with a person or a situation, even an energy that needs to get banished. And we can get set off and influenced by energies. So I'm doing this video today because I personally felt a negative intention come towards me. And that's one thing that I want to talk about, is everybody thinks that banishing is like this scary, evil thing, like I'm going to go and banish and they're going to die. Well, banishing is getting rid of unwanted influences. And sometimes we have stalkers. That's what I am personally dealing with, and why I'm doing a video on banishing. And sometimes we are experiencing negativity. So banishing spells are incantations that we can use to get rid of an enemy or an unwanted person, as well as eliminating negative energy, even evil. Some people believe in evil. To me, I don't. I believe that evil is human created by the mind. So to me, anything negative or evil is human created. Negativity can manifest itself as unusual negative thoughts, as material problems, as troublesome or imbalanced communication. But when we do a banishing ritual or spell, we can help turn negativity into a positive energy so that the situation can be resolved in the way we want. Now, first off, anything that is negative is we are able to release, we're able to banish. And for me, negative intentions are what I like to banish. So we can be experiencing feelings. If you feel like something is off, or you feel like someone's paying attention to you, or you feel like there's negative energy on you from someone else, or there's some kind of an attachment.
Or you feel that they've created a fixation on you.
Or a fixation on you, yes. Then there is some kind of intention in play, and that creates an attachment. And half the time, we don't even know how many people are attached to us, and it really doesn't matter. But what does matter is we have to understand that part of the universe runs on people's willpower, and people can do and think whatever they want. So this video isn't about stopping people from doing what they want, but it is about getting rid of whatever they're trying to do to you, so that you're protected, and so that if anything does try to get to you, it's reversed. So if I feel that I have someone who is intentionally doing something against me, and how do you know they're doing something against you? Well, when they make a choice to do something, they would be thinking of you. Therefore, they are practicing intentional magic, whether they know it or not. Intentions are the element of all magic. There's actually a universal law of intent. And that universal law, I want you to understand, universal laws are not just this one rule that floats around. Universal laws are powerful because they are connected to every living consciousness.
Laws that rule the universe, like gravity.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what level of consciousness the person is in, because we're all in a different one. That law still exists. We are not separated from it. And so the universal law of intent is that intention is the strongest element of every action of conduct. The activity one performs doesn't matter, no matter how difficult or tedious, no matter how conscientious one's efforts, and no matter what one sacrifices to accomplish it. The purpose behind the activity, one's attitude toward the effect of one's actions or conduct, determines the whole meaning of the activity and also determines the result of the action. In this activity that's performed, there is either honest, good, evil, selfish, or helpful intentions. So when we feel that we are being influenced in a negative way because of someone else, or because of something that we've done that is considered a negative energy because it pulls us away from our passions and distracts us and it keeps resurfacing, or we are being influenced by somebody else's attachment to us, whether it's jealousy, it's important for us to clear ourselves once in a while. And so we can protect ourselves and use the magic that is available to us to send it back or to banish it completely. So one of the things I'm going to go into, even though I'm going into a few other things, banishing is very powerful when we do it during the waning moon. So banishing is usually performed during the waning moon. After the full moon, we're releasing everything. It's also traditional to do banishing during Halloween or Samhain, or through the month of November, because this is a time when we are actually walking in between the worlds. We can also do banishing before dawn or after sunset, so nighttime. Now, if the subject of the person, or if the subject of the banishing is a person, you want to be able to see them. So you need a photograph, you can look at their face, you can imagine them if you have a good clairvoyant ability and you're able to perceive it in your mind's eye. But you want something specific to see. And if you can't get the picture, you can write down their full name, their name, and something specific, like what do they drive, where do they live? Because you got to think about how many, Georgina Gibsons there are in the world, right? So you want to be as specific as it is. Another important element of banishing spells is using salt. Sea salt in particular. Salt is recognized as an element that absorbs energy and is easily destroyed after the spell is performed. And we do that to destroy the negative energy. So if you're doing a banishing spell to get rid of maybe even a sickness, you can throw salt into a fire. You can throw salt into your cauldron. You can put salt into your herbs. And when we use salt and throw it into a fire or throw it into our cauldron where the herbs are, we pay attention to the flames of the fire, and we also pay attention to the smoke as we're focusing on the banishing that we want. And we can affirm anything that we want to be banished. So sea salt is something that is really good for it. So make sure that you have clarity with the situation and that you start with sea salt. I'm going to move on with a few more other things. So a little bit more on banishing. What is it? So when we banish something, we are being specific and direct. And banishing is used to get rid of a particular energy, a spirit, a person, an attachment. Think carefully before banishing, because this is actually considered a very strong form of defensive magic. So we can use the elements to banish. We can burn a slip of paper with our target's name on it, and we can also throw a leaf with a target's name on to it into a river or into a running stream or into the ocean. We can also burn corresponding herbs and allow the smoke to release the banishing. So whenever you burn the herbs, you want to pay attention to the smoke, because the smoke is the spirit that is being conjured. We can also use candles, and we can charge our candles with our power, or we can anoint our candles with corresponding herbs and oils and burn it. When the candle has burnt out, the banishing is complete. I like to carve into my candles the name of the person that I want to banish, or the name of the energy. We can also use sigils. We can make our own banishing sigil, or find one that resonates with you. If you Google protection sigils or banishing sigils, you'll see lots. And you can place this sigil in your space, or you can burn it, or keep the item on you to protect from that energy you're wishing to banish. We can also use more herbal smokes to force energy out of a space or out of our mind, or we can make a spray and use that around our home. So one thing that I like to do is have something that is simple that you can use. And remember, when we are doing this, it is considered white magic. It's not dark magic. But we are reversing ourselves from something that is upon us. So something simple that you can say is, what was brought down upon me? Be returned times 3. Power of the earth, air, fire, and water. May you get exactly what you deserve. From head to toe and skin to nerve, be returned times 3. So mote it be. And some people can say that 3 times. Traditionally, when you begin doing spells, it is good to do it 3 times. I also want to give you some more easier examples of things that you can banish. And we can banish things in many different ways. Like there's thousands of ways to banish. But every tradition and every skilled witch or mystic or druid or pagan or whatever, I can keep going on, has at least a few dozen ways to do banishing. So you want to experiment, but also it also depends on the situation that you're banishing. So we will create rituals or spells that are specific to the situation. So some common methods of working banishing spells do include the smoke cleansing or smudging, the salt. You can find banishing chants, like the one I spoke of. But you can also use stones or crystals, jar spells. You can also cleanse your home, and actually clean it while you're thinking of all the things that you're getting rid of, the energies or the people or the spirit. You can also write a letter to the person and read it to their spirit. So you light a candle after you charge it in the person's name, and you read the letter to their spirit. And that's one way that we can direct the energy and speak to their spirit. We can also use poppets. But you want to make sure that when you are doing your banishing, that you know you are doing it to remove difficult things and negative things and things that you feel that you're struggling with. And sometimes we'll need to perform banishings more than once. I'll perform my banishing, and then if the certain thing that arises needs banishing again comes, I'll perform another banishing. And when we do a banishing, we're cleansing negative energy. And you got to think about how many people have negative intentions out there. So it's like we're helping the world from people's twisted mentalities. And you have to have faith in your banishings. You need to take control of them because you're only dealing with someone's mind, their idea, their judgment, their ego, whether it's a spirit, a demon, or a living human. So we want to be clear about what we're banishing and state the reason of why you're doing it. So you don't have to, feel like you're doing, some ugly magic, because you're not. You're helping our world. And it's important for you to try different ways. One thing that I like to do is if I'm actually in a situation, live and present, and this situation needs banishing right away, I cast a circle right there. Either visualize the circle if you're a seer, speak the circle, call it mentally. Maybe you are already skilled and you can just circle, 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 and you know it's there. I also like to make sure that when I'm banishing something, I'm charging a crystal so that I use the crystal as my talisman. And I carry it with me because the crystal will actually hold the power of what I want to be banished. We can also do banishing for other people and situations. And some people see banishing and cleansing as two separate things. But remember, they are pretty much the same thing. They're both energy focused, a form of making something go away. So we are cleansing with a focused intention. We're washing away intrusion or unwanted energies, whether it's affecting us mentally, physically, or spiritually, or emotionally. But banishing is an old, ancient way to cleanse. And it was actually considered consecrating, which means blessing, creating a new purpose. So when we're banishing something, we also want to think about the new purpose. We're banishing it for this reason. This is what we want. And so put the solution into your mind as well. Banishing is also used for healing. We can banish illnesses or injury, right? And it's considered healing magic. Sometimes it will cure, sometimes it won't. Sometimes we need to perform healing and banishing illnesses over and over again. Banishing is also considered shadow work. And shadow work represents doing magic on banishing our problems, how we deal with them, our traumas, anything, our low self-esteem, our self-destructive behaviors, others' destructive behaviors upon you, anything that we no longer want. It can be a habit we have. We can banish it. It can be, a self-sabotaging quality. We can banish it. So think about the things that you want to banish and start practicing banish magic when it surfaces. People do consider it baneful magic because when we're able to place a protection over us and know that we're protected or cleanse ourselves regularly, then that energy goes back to the sender. It's like a mirror, and they can't come to us. And some people are like, oh my, but get over it. It's the cycle. What you create, you get back 3 times. We're not doing that. And people that are connected to magic and the occult and practice goddess worship are automatically connected and protected to the crone power, to the dark goddesses, underworld goddesses, and they protect us. They protect us against the evil eye or someone else's bad behavior.
And they know what intention is.
Yeah, so the spirit world knows all about intention. And they also want us to banish bad behavior or banish toxic energies because it does influence our world. There's also a time where seasonal shifts are actually a form of banishment. Like think about spring cleaning. That's a form of banishment where you're clearing out the old to make way for the new. And most seasons or holidays have some form of cleansing or shift to them. And that's why we use the magic of the seasons. The same with the waning and the new moon. The waning energies of the moon are all about letting things go and are perfect for focusing on banishing. And the new moon is actually the height of banishing energy in the moon cycle. We can also do banishing by working with our plants. As we're taking care of plants and growing them, we can use that energy, those signs of how healthy our plants are, to show us the energies that may or may not be against us. If we have healthy plants in our home, then we know that we don't have too much negativity trying to get at us. Maybe it's just, a 3-day spell. So we can actually use plants in our yard and in our home by watching them and how they are with the energies that you're being surrounded by. Main thing is, when we do banishing spells, we're setting boundaries. And setting boundaries is a way to respect yourself. By recognizing that certain things, certain behaviors, and certain people are either not acceptable to you or the activity is harmful to you. So you want to know that these boundaries can be very dramatic from one person to another, from one situation to another situation. And understanding our personal boundaries is essential. And that's how we actually feel when there is a stalker or when there is somebody with negative intentions. If we are feeling something, we are intuitively being told this. And our intuition is connected to that feminine, hidden, psychic aspect of the goddess energy. So it is important for us to pay attention to our personal boundaries and when they're being crossed or affected. So banishing comes by so many different ways. It's to keep our space clear, our mind clear, our energy clear of harmful things. And especially for, getting rid of them when our energy is being violated. So removing these energies, all abusers are toxic. All toxic people are abusers. And a lot of people are toxic because they have unaddressed personal issues which make them difficult to be around. And sometimes people are toxic with some other people, but fine with others. And so it's important for us to make sure that we do not fall into any type of victimhood or energy that will pull us down. So keep that in mind when before you dismiss someone who's claiming that this is going on, maybe, and they've been trying to be nice to you, you need to protect yourself. Okay? Having toxic people in your life is not fun, and it's hard to break free, because once someone knows they've got you, they're going to use that as a tool. So banishing power that people hold upon you is something that you might want to do once in a while if you feel like, you don't have that mind or that space or that heart. Banishing is a fantastic tool for helping us to permanently remove energies, individuals, habits, anything that does not serve us well. So I hope you have an understanding of what banishing is, and know that you can banish anytime. It's like getting rid of any type of toxic energy. We are influenced by other energies, and half of the energies we're feeling are not of our own. So use some of the things that I spoke about. Keep your energy clear, and enjoy your space.
That'll neutralize situations so that you can get back to enjoyment.
Yes, thanks for joining. By the power of 3 times 3, gods, goddesses, ancestors, and guides, I invoke thee. Banish all enemies and negativity from my home and life, so mote it be.